Hi everyone, it's Jared with Day Traders FX. Nice to be with you all today. Thanks for being on the emailing list. I wanted to send out an update that we're looking at in the trade group on the Swiss franc Japanese yen, the CHF yen. This is a great little setup. It's got a lot of good attributes to it, which is why we're watching it and hopefully going to be able to get a nice entry coming up here. A couple of things that make this amazing. First of all, we have got, as you can see here, 4 missed weekly pivots, 4 consecutive weekly pivots that have not been hit. That's a pretty big deal. Those things start to line up, and short to medium term reversals can start to become very imminent at that point. We've got some dailies and monthly pivots as well that need to get hit, but we're specifically focused on these 4 weekly pivots right here. A couple of things to note here. Current price from this 4th pivot to where price currently sits is only about 25 pips. No, that's not bad. That could be an easy 25 pips. But what we'd like to see happen here is get one more stab at these highs. Let's get a double top. Let's test the top of this rising wedge one more time. You can see we have a pretty nice rising wedge right here. So again, on the hourly chart, let's test that rising wedge one more time and then make that stab at the weekly pivot. And from there, we can hopefully get some entries. Ideally, the higher the better. If we got this thing up around 118.60, 70, that would be great. But I'd like to start getting into this around 118.40, 50 area. And then as we trade this down into 117.80, 85, we've got some decent pips to work with. So again, the higher we can get in this thing, the better. But if we can get, into double top territory, we're talking 60, 70 pips. If we retest the top of this wedge, we're talking 80, 90 pips. So it's got to make a little bit of a push higher. Again, we're only about 25 or so pips from the weekly pivot at current price. So we need to get it to retest those highs. I'm really watching 118.40, 50 and looking for just one more spike higher so we can start shorting this thing and taking it down. Now, these are yen pairs, and whenever we trade these reversals, you've got to be very, very careful to scale into these and just take it easy. Don't go in large trade sizes because the yen, as true to fashion, can definitely make some big pushes and not ask a lot of questions. So we want to be careful of that. So make sure if you do get an entry around 118.40, 50, be prepared for additional entries up here around 118.70, 80, 11900 area. So just scale into this thing. Go with a little bit of a smaller trade size. And of course, we've always got the possibility if this trend line holds right here and it can do some of this. Let me just adjust this a little bit here. If this trend line holds and we get a movement like this, where it just kind of bounces up that trend line and then breaks, and it breaks again at a higher price, 118.50 or so, then we can go in a lot more aggressive on that trade size, because what we can do is sell the break of this trend line and have stops just above this high right here. So we can really limit that risk. Maybe take 25, 35 pips of risk to make this nice little run down from 118.50 down to 117.80. So 85 area. So there's nice stuff happening there. So so watch this trend line. This could be very good, very helpful. I'm not super excited about trading the trend line break like right here because again, there's only 20 to 25 pips, and 20 to 25 pips is not horrible. And if you do take this trade and you do trade it down to that pivot and grab 20 pips, that's fine as well. I never mind making any kind of profit. But ideally, we get a little bit more consolidation, a little bit of a push higher. We can trade that trend line break and target that weekly pivot. So we've got some really great opportunities on this Swiss yen if it can just push higher just a little bit. You can see that this thing is kind of coming up into some, some nice little consolidation levels all the way back here, and should be able to give us at least a small amount of correction and start to trade this lower. And again, the hourly chart, this one has a less extended hourly chart. It's creeping up on 200. Well, let's measure. Let's see where our bar count is. Now here is one little detail. So it's creeping up over 300 bars now. Some feeds that we saw this morning didn't have that hit and are more into the 418, 420 bar count. So either way, whether it's 300 or 400, it's still a pretty decent bar count and should make our breakout pretty high probability. So if we can just get that to push one more bit higher into that double top, sell that break, target that pivot, we should get some nice pips and nice profits there. So good luck, everybody. I hope you can make some nice money on this trade. And be able to pull through a couple of pips with a nice setup. So hopefully that's helpful. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see how we do this in a little bit more detail, head over to daytradersfx.com, click on that join button, and you can just watch this quick little 2-minute video, nothing too big, and see just what we offer in our trade group and all the things that you can benefit from as a member of the trade group. So have a little look, see what you think, and thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.